This time I'm going to turn the mic over to Al Henry, Secretary of Treasury.
What Al do to get that microphone?
Well, it's always good to be in front of a bunch of regular old working folks. I guess now we've been classified as the rich folks. We're the ones that's got it too easy. When are you folks going to understand that the big businesses in this state and all the businesses are the ones that need government assistance? It ain't y'all. What are you down here fussing about? Not. For all you press guys, let the record indicate this is not some left-wing, tree-hugging, commie, pinko liberal group. This is the salt of the earth, working-class Alabamians here with us today. This is what democracy looks like. We are union. We are. We are. We are. Union members showing concern like this is a good thing. Workers coming together are the last best defense for a good middle class wages and benefits. Showing concern like this, trying to protect our public service employees who are so vital to our communities, our teachers, our firemen, our food inspectors out at the agriculture department that are being laid off today, our police officers, our prison guards are all vital to our communities. If there were no unions, there'd be no balance. There'd be no answer to these attacks. Folks, you've got to know, you got to know, these attacks are orchestrated nationwide, and it's all about politics. It's got nothing to do with economics. It's the same old game. The party in power tries to hurt its opponents. They don't care that it hurts the middle class. Folks, that's wrong. When it hurts the middle class, it's immoral. When it hurts the middle class, it's unethical. It's just plain wrong, and it's so wrong. These politicians are giving their wealthy donors and CEOs tax breaks, while those same CEOs outsource jobs and cut wages and benefits for middle class workers. That is so wrong. Their strategy is simple: divide and conquer. How many times have you heard them say things like this? Taxpayers can't afford to pay more for big union benefits and special deals for unions. When they say that, they're wanting to create a wedge between voters and taxpayers and union workers. How about this one? Public employees make far more than workers in the private sector. You ever heard anything so ridiculous? Come on, folks. That's another wedge issue they're using to try to divide public employees and their unions. What about this one? Big labor bosses are out of touch with their members. Right-to-work laws will protect workers from coercion by big labor. By saying this, they're trying to create a wedge between union members and their leadership. In other words, trust the CEOs and the business unions like the Chamber of Commerce and the NFIB and the Business Council. Union members call right-to-work laws the right to work for less. The law is created by big business to weaken unions. It does have a catchy name, but it keeps middle-class workers down. It says if there's a union in your workplace, you don't have to be a member. You can get union wages, union benefits, and union work rules, but you don't have to be a member of the union. It deters strong unions. Because there are strong unions in states that do not have the right-to-work law, they earn around $5,500 a year more than workers in right-to-work states. Sorry to those who think otherwise, but it's just a fact. Strong unions in a state equals better wages, better benefits, and more worker-friendly work rules in the workplace. In short, it's a stronger middle class, and somebody's just going to have to explain to me what in the world is wrong with a strong middle class in Alabama. Politicians who won the election took contributions from CEOs, and now they're going after their enemies. CEOs already have too much influence over politicians. Unions stand as a check on corporate greed and give average working people a voice. It's time for the politicians to stop attacking their opponents and start working to create jobs and support and help the middle class. Along with these constant wedge issues, these CEOs have a simple message. No one should be forced to pay money to a union against their will as a condition of employment. No one should be forced to give money to political causes of candidates they don't support. Big labor bosses are out of touch with the people they purport to represent, as well as the public at large. And the next one is we have a serious deficit, and in these tough economic times for our families, everybody must tighten their belts. We can't afford any new taxes on our businesses. We have to cut back on government. Everybody here needs to realize and recognize facts from fiction and facts from wedge issues and facts from false messages. At the Alabama AFL-CIO, we believe these attacks on the middle class are all about politics and have very little to do with economics. Here's an example. There are over 1,000 corporations in the state of Alabama have made over $105 billion and paid no taxes earmarked for our school system. Visiting the loopholes in the corporate taxes would solve many of our financial problems. It just looks to us like these newly elected officials feel like we have two problems. Number one is working people just have it too easy. And number two, the wealthy and the powerful are in desperate need of more government assistance. This thought process by legislators is unacceptable. If there's a financial problem, let's share the pain. I have not seen any effort to share the pain. We pay our fair share, make the rich and powerful pay theirs. It's time for the politicians to stop the power struggle. We need balance that brings our leaders together to create quality jobs here in Alabama and solves the problems hurting the middle class families here in Alabama. Key word in the last sentence was quality jobs. Giving large taxpayer-funded incentives for low-wage jobs is not good state policy. If we intend on buying jobs, let's make sure they're good jobs.
That's right.
Jobs you can raise a family on.
That's right.
Alabama's median household income is already $10,000 a year less than the national average. We don't need to blindly give taxpayer money to employers just to get low-wage jobs here. Over the last 10 years, our government gave $50 million to Walmart. That we ought to be charging them $50 million to be in our fine state. It's not right for politicians to try to balance the budget on the backs of the middle class workers, while the CEOs of Wall Street get bailouts and tax breaks. Now politicians are attacking the workers who are vital to our well-being and the safety of our communities, like prison guards, teachers, and firefighters. Rather than cutting the public services that working families depend on, politicians should be cutting the perks and the waste in their own office. Isn't it interesting that after all the campaign rhetoric about repealing the 61% pay raise, nobody now seems interested in doing it? Every union member in Alabama knows the value of their union. Our unions are constantly striving to better our standard of living. Non-union members all over Alabama know the value of unions too. Without a shadow of a doubt, they know that if there wasn't a union just around the corner waiting to organize them, their employers would drastically lower their wages, benefits, and conditions of employment. My friends, unions of the middle class were under attack by legislators who want to participate in the race to the bottom. These people are now asking us to sacrifice. They're asking us to sacrifice vital public services that make our community strong. Well, they're wrong. Now's the time to ask for sacrifice from those who've gained so much over the last 10 years. Now's the time to stand by folks who created the middle class. Now's the time to tell the legislators inside this building just how insane it is to believe working families have it too easy. Tell them it's insane to believe that more government assistance to the biggest businesses in Alabama are necessary or that it will solve any of our problems. Now's the time to tell them we will not sit down. Now's the time to tell them we will not shut up. Now's the time to tell them we will not get out of the way. Now's the time to tell them that we're going to keep right on providing the most highly skilled, highly trained, highly productive workforce in the world. Not Alabama, in the world. It's time to tell these legislators that Alabama taxpayer-funded construction projects should be built by Alabama taxpayers. Now's the time to tell them our coal mines could and should be safer. Now's the time to tell them our railroad workers should have safe, clean, sanitary housing conditions while they maintain our tracks. Now's the time to tell them that degrading our teachers' profession and our public sector working families, at this time they should be building it up. Now's the time to tell them it's not working families that are living too high on the hog, it's the CEOs and the fat cats that finance their campaigns.